Welcome back, folks. This is Tommy, Help with Gadgets, and we've got a really cool knife to do a review of today. This is the Hoback Knives Warspear, and this happens to be number 19 of 50. It's a really cool knife. I'll do some measurements here in just a few minutes, but you can kind of take a look there with the at the information on the certificate of authenticity, and see that it is S35VN on the blade steel. Hoback knives come with these, well, some of them come with these really cool um, boxes that have cutouts and tools and everything else with the knife. So really cool. All right, so let's take a look at this knife. It is titanium on the scales. There's a fuller here. There's a large flipper. So you've got those multiple opening methods. It's got a nice pocket clip. It does have the Hoback rolling detent, and that's adjustable detent so that you can increase or decrease the detent strength, which is really cool. You can dial it in and make it like you want it to be. All right, let's go ahead and do some actual measurements. Let me get my handy dandy measuring utensil, and I succeeded in pulling my thumbtack that I have held on or hanging on the wall. Pulled that off, and stuff fell on the floor, but we'll get that later. No big deal. All right, so we're looking at about 3 inches on the blade itself, right at 7.5 inches for the overall length, maybe just a tad more than that. So, not a huge knife in terms of length. All right, let me set this to the side and get the scale out. And get that in a position where we can see it. So, looking at about 5.75 ounces. So it's not a very light knife. However, when I first experienced this knife, when I got it out, I was like, okay, it feels a lot lighter than it looks, because it looks like this is going to be a very heavy knife. And some would say, well, 6 ounces, 5.75 ounces is not exactly light, and you would be correct. However, this is it is lighter than what it looks like. All right, let's do some size comparisons. Let's start out with the soon-to-be released Eutectic binary, and also look at the Demco Shark Cub. Let's pull that down a little bit. The Demco Shark Cub. All right, so you can see those. Let's look now at the CJRB Feldspar, which is going to be a little bit longer than the Warspear. And this is the CJRB Pyrite, which is very similar in blade length. The handle on the Warspear is a tad longer. Let's take a look at a couple more knives. Let's take a look at the QSP Penguin. And let's also pull out a Sparrow Knife Company Strix. There you go, with a couple of comparisons there. All right. Let's look at the ever popular Benchmade Bug Out. And let's also pull in another budget model. This is the Miguron Morial. Okay, there's those two. And then up next we have the Kaiser Militao. And along with it, we'll put up the Berg Blades Sweeney. Okay, so some good comparisons there. Let's also look at the North Arm Sky High. And then along with that, we'll look at the Giant Mouse Ace Tribeca. All right, and then the last pairing would be the Microtech MSI. And last but certainly not least, the Kaiser Cyberblade. And as you can tell, the Warspear is longer than the Kaiser Cyberblade. All right. Let's look at some comparisons in the pocket. First off, you're going to notice it's in your pocket. That's just the way it is. It's very wide. Here's the MSI. As you can tell, still wider than the MSI, and I think pretty much anything that I could put down that's not something, say, the size of the PMP Grizzly, it's going to be it's a chunk of titanium in your pocket. There's no two ways about it. I'll go ahead and put down the QSP Penguin just so you can see the huge difference there. And there's the bug out. There's the Demco Shark Cub. And the Kaiser Militao. So, I mean, pretty much you can get an idea that this is definitely a wide knife. Its presence in your pocket is going to be noticed. Now, as far as it being in pocket, and if you do manage to have something else in the pocket, this one does not tend to have any sharp edges that's going to tear your hand up. If you put your, if you have something else in your pocket, like for example, in my case, I would have earbuds and a hank, and maybe something else. But it's not something that's gonna it's not gonna tear your hand up like some knives do. All right, the blade steel is kind of a satin, or the blade finish is kind of a satin finish. It's S35VN for the blade steel, which is just fine. It does have a lanyard opening. You could put some sort of lanyard on the knife if you so desire. The clip is not going to be deep carry clip. I mean, that's just the way it is on this particular knife. It's going to have that much knife sticking out of your pocket. There's just no two ways about it. It's not going to be stealthy in pocket. And I don't know of any. There may be a substitute clip that you could get if that's something that's important to you. Let's look at jimping. It's got some jimping on it. Here on top of the blade, some rather large jimping. Not aggressive, not terribly sharp or anything. I mean, it's not dull either, but it's not something that's uncomfortable. There's also some jimping right here where your little finger and the ring finger would be. And again, not something that I'm really noticing even while getting a pretty good grip on the knife. This is enough to give you some, here at the thumb is enough to get you some extra traction, some purchase if you're trying to push through cardboard or whatever it might be. But all in all, decent jimping. There's also a little bit of jimping there on the lock bar, which this lock bar is not the easiest to get to. There's a kind of a higher point right here. If that were scalloped a little bit, it would make getting to that a little bit easier. It's not crazy hard to get to, but it's also not the access that I would see something on like the Militao with very easy access to the lock bar. All right. Price of these. Fairly expensive. I think these were, I want to say $500 or $600. Not a cheap knife. These are no longer available. If that price is different than what I said, I'll throw that up on the screen. But these aren't available from what I understand. These were limited number, and I haven't heard anything about any of the additional ones being made. Detent's excellent, and as I mentioned, it's adjustable, so you can fine tune it to what you desire, and it's not hard to do. It's basically just turning that set screw, that Allen screw there. So not hard to do at all. Titanium scales, of course, and very nicely done. Lots of weight reduction pockets there that also lend to the design of the knife. A couple of lightning holes there. Well, actually, those appear to be where you can reverse the pocket clip and put them on that side. I hadn't even noticed that. Just thought it was part of the design. So there you go. And then he's got his trademark hatchet there on the clip as well. It does have this hook there that some folks would find they wouldn't like it. Some folks don't like the hook there, but I do see that it provides plenty of traction to flip the knife open. This opening method works just fine. The flipper as well as reverse flick. I don't know. Can't really get my thumb in there for wait a minute. No, let's not do that because I do not want to shed blood on the video and have to do it over. So let's not do that. But so I just basically say reverse flick and flipper would be the two methods that I would say are could be most used. But there you have it. This is the Hoback Warspear, and it's I can't recommend that one because I don't think it's available anymore. Do I like it? Yeah, I kind of like that one. It's to me it's an interesting design, and it's very comfortable in hand. Just it's just comfortable, and you can choke up here if you want to. You get a full grip, and I like it. Now I wish the blade were stone wash so that it didn't show marks so much. But otherwise, I like the knife. I would probably get one if I had an opportunity to do so, and had the money to do so. But there you have it. That is the Hoback Warspear. Hope you've enjoyed it. Please hit that like button if you've enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you enjoy the content. Leave a comment. I'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. A little bit behind on comments, but I do appreciate them nonetheless. Hope y'all have a wonderful rest of your day. Hope to see you again soon. Thanks.